Yeah, crypto friends, the show starts now. Welcome to the weekly round table, where the takes are hot and FOMO set to disable. Welcome to the weekly round table, where friends are made and we all drink that red maple. Break. Juan's got his eyes on the latest somehow.
Cryptocurrencies are leading the charge in AI integrations. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're going to be discussing that and more on today's episode of the Weekly Roundtable. We'll go over all the important news and all the other crypto events over the past week. I'd like to bring up my fellow panelists now. We have Crypto Cruiser, TerryMotive, and Juan G. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Fantastic. Enjoying the additional clarity in the markets.
Doing very well.
Good. Juan, how about yourself? How are you doing? We can't hear you unless you unmute yourself, my friend.
Another great day in the space. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No problem. Okay, like I said off the top, we're going to discuss AI integration into crypto and the innovations coming out on that. We're going to highlight a couple of projects that are have real promise in the cryptocurrency market. Don't forget, as you saw on the banner, nothing we say on this stream should be considered financial advice, strictly education and entertainment purposes only. Everything we say on this stream is also just our own opinions. Don't follow what we do, but we are here just to educate you. So we'll start off first, actually. I do want to show the Bitcoin chart. Terry, you mentioned off the top there, you're finally seeing some progress, some bullishness in the market. So we will show that first off. And here we go. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Hold on one sec. Okay. Here's the Bitcoin chart. As I mentioned, we're starting to see some bullish patterns and a little bit of positivity in the market. Nothing saying that we aren't going to, go a little bit lower here, as we have mentioned before, but there are some good signs. Currently, Bitcoin is at 87,201. And also, as you can see, I'm not really going to draw too many lines on here, but because the chart's already a mess. But as you can see, we kind of are in a little bit of an uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows. This is the daily chart. So that is looking bullish. And if I go to the hourly here, and this shows a little bit different. I mean, it's still a bullish pattern. We had a little bit of a pump there a few days ago, and then now we're kind of forming this descending channel, which usually, especially in a bull market, will touch the upper areas and the lower areas a couple of times, and then eventually we will break out to the upside. So to me, in my opinion, this is a little bit of a bullish chart, but we still have to see the macro, how that plays out. There's still some things going on that could affect Bitcoin's price in the short term, but as for the long term, I believe we're starting to see some bullish signs. Terry, what were you seeing in the Bitcoin chart?
Yeah, I've got a screen share going too.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm happy. So yes, I definitely see some bullishness, and we were expecting to see those bullish influences, express themselves, last week, and then over the next couple of coming weeks. But I'm not sure quite yet. It's clarity that I'm seeing as more than bullishness or bearishness. Anyway, looking at the weekly chart here, momentum says up, but to my mind, perhaps not just yet, right? This is just the first bounce off of an impulsive drop, and all it did was recover these inefficiencies here, and it tested the top of the this rising action channel. So this is really normal. I think it probably will come down. We talked about this before, sweeping some liquidity down in this area, perhaps down to like 73.7 or so, before continuing on up. And again, our big continuation cup target here, the monthly, the target on that's still 120 to 125. So down on the daily, it's looking a little bit more toppy on the momentum, but we definitely have the the potential for a flag here. So I think we could see some short-term up, although this does, like, I say on the daily, it does want to looks like it turns down. It's right consolidating at the top of this channel. When you see that, a lot of times it'll action will fall back in. So in the 4 hours here gives us a little bit better look at the go ahead and take that off. That W didn't plan out. That was from early this morning. A little bit better look at the flaggy action. Really like this consolidation here. You look at the SRSI, bumping along down here, oversold. Looks like it wants to curl up. We do have a continuation cup here on the 4 hour. So a continuation cup pattern targeting like up to 93.5. I mean, we could see that. I sort of suspect that the drive is going to be a little bit weaker off of this one.
Yeah, I think the number floating around is 92 is what I've been hearing. Around the 92,000, we might see a bit of a correction at that point. Is that kind of, agree with what you are seeing in the chart?
Yeah, like here on the 1 hour, you can still see this 89.250. That's a big weekly pivot. So you expect something, some wobble there, but probably try up a little bit higher than that. I could see, I got something here at 92.5. It was a previous double bottom, so that'll probably be a pivot, and another pivot up here like 93 or so. I don't think action, even if it does pop out of here, I don't think it'll probably get to 95. I just think that the resistance up there will be really, really strong for it.
Okay.
Perfect. So here we are bouncing along on top of this. I mean, this is a little bit of a clearly flaggy descending channel here. So I could see the continuation up, but not real strong. I mean, the target on that would not be very far north of 90, in my opinion.
Okay. So short term, do you feel do you think this pattern is going to play out and we are going to go up to those upper levels before we come back down? Or do you think we could maybe, the way the manipulators like to work, they have a fake out to the downside and then go up?
I think it's going to have a try up. I'm not entirely clear how high it's going to go, how high it's going to push on this. I think it's going to have a try, not particularly strong one, and then probably fall back away and sweep to lows. And then, so that'll happen probably over the course of the next couple of weeks, in my opinion. And then we'll see the opportunity for another run at the highs. At least that's what I'm expecting.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I love that analysis. I love the way you have everything laid out in your chart. A lot of people may not understand what everything is on there, but you explained it perfectly. So thank you for that. We interested to see how it goes the next couple of weeks. Okay, so we'll get back to the charts after this. We'll do the little bit of news or headlines, and then we'll get into the AI topics before we head back to all the charts. Okay, you took that off. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to bring this chart or the information. Okay, this is from, sorry. Okay, so here's the updates. Let's see, we got the global crypto market cap is at 2.85 trillion currently, 0.94% decrease over the last day. So this is the daily information. But the total crypto market volume over 24 hours is 78.24 billion, and that's a 2.3% increase. And the volume on Defi is currently at 5.88 billion, and that is a 7.5, or that is 7.5 of the total crypto 24-hour market volume. Volume in stablecoins, 73.3 billion, which is 93% of the total market. And Bitcoin dominance is currently at 60.78, and that's an increase of 0.28% over the day. Let's see, I saw here the fear and greed. Okay, here we go. Fear and greed currently, as of a couple of hours ago, was at 40. And which is fear. Yesterday we were at neutral, last week neutral, and last month extreme fear when we had that market correction. Let's head on over to the DGENZ weekly episode or weekly episode or volume 22. For those that are not signed up for the DGENZ Crypto Weekly newsletter, the link is in the description for that. Just put in your email. It's a free weekly newsletter. Lots of great information. I don't want to go over everything here because I wanted to leave it for you to check out yourself. But I do want to touch on the market pulse, which they have this every single week. Kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in the market and gives a basic overview. So I will go over this real quickly. Polymarket, the blockchain-based betting platform, has officially launched on Solana. enabling users to deposit funds via the network. The platform has seen explosive growth, generating over 11.4 billion in trading volume over the past year. Blockchain-based betting as a whole has surged in popularity, with an estimated 40 million users in 2025 and projections valuing the industry at 133.59 billion by 2029. Of course, that's a projection. Meanwhile, Crypto.com's native token Crow soared 45% after Trump Media and Technology Group announced plans to develop exchange-traded funds, ETFs. I've been using Crypto.com for a long, long time. It was one of the first protocols or exchanges or whatever you want to call it. They have many different aspects in the crypto space. One of the first ones I got involved with, and I'm still using it to this day. In another major move, Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, has now accumulated over 500,000 Bitcoin following its latest Bitcoin acquisition of 6,911 BT last week. Company's total Bitcoin holdings now stand at 506,137, valued at 44.2 billion. Wow. This move comes after raising 593 million from selling nearly 2 million shares of its stock, Class A common stock. Lastly, blockchain analytics firm Chain Analysis has uncovered a direct financial link between Mexican drug cartels and the Chinese fentanyl. Wow, I didn't even know that. Via cryptocurrency transactions. A civil forfeiture case in Wisconsin, led to the seizure of 5.5 million in crypto, revealing how cartel-affiliated money launderers in the U.S. transferred funds directly to Chinese chemical manufacturers. So that's something I didn't know. That's an ongoing battle, as everyone knows, if you're familiar with what's going on down between the Canadian-U.S. border. But the good news on this is the fact that Polymarket is launching a version on Solana. So I know a lot of people were saying, we mentioned before the stream, guys, that there was sentiment that Solana was basically just the meme coin haven, and other than that, there's really not much on it. But people don't realize Solana continues to build. There's a lot of different projects that are willing to build on Solana for its speed, its transaction finality, the low gas fees. There's no denying that Solana is probably one of the best chains in the crypto market. And we'll touch on a few more projects that we're going to highlight that are beginning to build on Solana as well. So that is that. And I did want to share one last story here for all those XRP fans out there. XRP, Ripple's BlackRock deal as XRP ETF odds hit 87% as Bitcoin dips. XRP underperforms in March despite the bullish ETF sentiment and Ripple dropping its cross appeal. Today was officially the day that the appeal was dropped. So today is kind of a key mark day for XRP. BlackRock's potential ETF entry could mirror its BTC ETF success, which drove BTC to 109,000. XRP traders eye SEC's expected appeal withdrawal, which could fast track XRP spot ETF approval and spark demand, which I mentioned today. So XRP takes center stage on Thursday, March 27th, which is today, as investors await the SEC's formal withdrawal of its appeal against the programmatic sales of XRP ruling. So basically like security sales. If confirmed, the withdrawal would mark a significant milestone for XRP and the broader crypto market, potentially accelerating the path towards an XRP spot ETF launch, which would be amazing for the XRP price. Obviously, it's already come up quite a lot in this market, but this would just propel it even further. Despite anticipation around the SEC's withdrawal and Ripple dropping its cross appeal, XRP has yet to retest its January highs of $3.39.99, $3.40 technically. However, the potential launch of US XRP spot ETF could have a far greater impact on XRP's supply-demand trajectory. So that's pretty much the news on that. Talking about the BlackRock spot ETF here, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse recently hinted at a potential collaboration with BlackRock. BlackRock's involvement could significantly impact the market supply-demand trends. Since launching a BTC spot ETF in January, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, IBIT, has seen net inflows of 39,834 million, playing a key role, 39,834,000, that's misspelled there, key role in the market success. So that would be really, really good for XRP if they do get a spot ETF. And of course, if BlackRock's involved, everything they touch usually turns to gold. So that's the news on there. I also, let's see, no, I'm not going to go through those. Actually, okay, here it is here. Speaking of the ETFs, the inflows, I'm going to give this a refresh. We should probably have another green day today or yesterday. And, oh, wrong way. There we go. Yep, another green day yesterday at $89 million inflows. So that is now 6, 7, 8, 9 days straight of inflows after several days of outflows. And the Bitcoin price, as you can see here in yellow, reflects that. So looking good there. All right, that is the news and the headlines for now. We'll get back to the Bitcoin chart after we talk about AI. Okay, so it's no secret. Anyone in crypto, you've heard about AI and AI integration into the cryptocurrency market. All kinds of different tokens out there, projects available. Solana being one that has been launching a lot. For example, Tars AI. It's been around for a few months. It's done really, really well. But the further the innovation goes and the technology develops, the better this industry is going to get. And it is true that crypto and AI are completely integrated. We will talk. Okay, for those that are on Solana, I'll just go through one that a lot of people are familiar on Solana. Render, for example, they're focused on decentralized GPU rendering. There's no secret that Render has been a really popular project. It's done really well. It has taken a dip like the rest of the market, but it's held up pretty well. And a lot of people that are in the know, or at least follow this project, they're pretty confident that Render is going to do very, very well, not just in this bull market, but going forward. The other two, Juan, thanks for these. Did you want to mention any of the other ones, or did you want me to go ahead and continue?
No, go ahead. You can finish it all up. It's fine.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing these to my attention. But Insight AI, which leverages machine learning and predictive algorithms to provide users with recommendations on which cryptocurrencies to buy. I know that can be a little tricky. Nobody ever wants to give financial advice or advice at all. But this is an AI, and it takes all the data into consideration, and it calculates for you which ones it believes or the program believes would do really well. So that's Insight AI. Very, very interesting. Render, I mentioned. Fetch AI is building a decentralized machine learning network for various applications. A lot of people, I'm sure, have heard of Fetch AI. It had a really good run a few months back when the rest of the market was going up. And then the last one I want to mention, there's plenty, but for the purpose of this video, we can't go through all of them. There's way too many. But BitTensor is creating a decentralized marketplace for AI models. So those are the four main that I just want to mention. Just a drop in the bucket compared to everything that's out there. Now, before I go on to the two that I want to mention on the Solana blockchain, I'm going to go around and ask you guys if you have any favorites, or what do you think about AI in general when it comes to the crypto space. So Juan, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, right now, AI is the word of the year for 2025, right? It's permeated everywhere at all times. I think I think in the States, the word AI is used about, I don't know, maybe 500,000 times a day, and in various fashions or not, whether it's NVIDIA CEO, whether it's the phone that you're using, whether it's the newest gadgets that come out, all of them have a version of some type of AI. So I think it's about time now that it's kind of being permeated through the crypto space. And not that it's new, right? But now it's becoming ubiquitous. It's being mentioned. It's being delivered in a way for crypto to kind of say, hey, AI is real. It's here, and now it can help you, right? And for a lot of reasons, right? AI kind of is a safer choice for people. Why? Because it's unbiased. It's like what you said, right? It just collects data and gives you an informed decision just based on data. And I think versus you trying to guess what another person's ulterior motive might be. So I think AI is about time. Do I have a favorite right now? No, I think that we need to see more of its use cases fleshed out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we can kind of, at least for me, to make a decision of what a favorite might look like. But anything that can attach itself to real world value is always going to have a vote for me. Like I like to see AI, me talk to my phone, and somehow a crypto somewhere in wherever in the blockchain is affected. That's amazing, right? And that's what those are the things that I'm trying to look forward to. But right now, AI is the word. It's not going to go away, and you're going to hear it not just in the crypto space, but in banking and everything else real soon. So, for me, it's an exciting time for AI, and as more solutions come out, we're going to be more and more have more reasons to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Cruiser, yourself.
There are a couple that I'm watching, and mainly because I own them. That would be Near Protocol and Injective. I've had those two for quite some time, anticipating that AI and crypto would mesh and take off. And like Juan said, AI is the buzzword for 2025. I'm hoping this is where it all comes together. There's so many moving parts to AI and so many applications and uses that both within crypto and just in general in society that it can be so beneficial. But at the same time, there's the abuse aspect as well. But hopefully that's kept to a minimum. Really excited about it, though. I'm looking forward to see where the AI world kind of goes this year.
Yeah, as AI gets smarter and smarter, it's going to become more and more incredible. Terry, yourself.
Yeah, I would have to say that I don't have any real favorites right now. I feel like the field is kind of oversaturated with the agents. I totally agree with Juan that AI just applies to everything. The utility is absolutely astounding. I think the projects that you'll see have the most success will be the ones with the best applications, the ones that kind of dovetail AI into features that have a normal feel to them, so that it's seamless. It's like the adoption with crypto. If you can have people use it without really even being aware of it, that's the route to adoption.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that. Actually, for those that are thinking to themselves or watching the video, thinking, when would I ever use AI? Like I wouldn't use that for anything. Well, whether you believe it or not, every time you use Google or you use Grok on X or you use Gemini, which is now part of the Google system, Google phones, Google Pixel, you're using AI. Those are basically AI generators, and they're getting more and more advanced. I remember when first used the Google Assistant, it couldn't really generate images. It couldn't. There's a lot of things it couldn't help you with. But now those tools like Gemini and Grok, you can give it some prompt words and it will generate images for you. You can ask it any questions. It gives you detailed, answers. If you, let's say you write an essay or some kind of a document, and you paste it and you ask it to do grammar or reword it or rewrite it or make it better, it can do all that. So yeah, whether you think you need AI or not, you're probably using it right now and maybe don't even realize it. This is, I wanted to show everyone this. I asked Gemini the benefits of AI and crypto. I just wanted to see what kind of response it would give me. And I won't go over the whole thing, but as you can see, first line here, artificial intelligence is increasingly finding applications within the cryptocurrency space, offering a range of potential benefits. Here's a breakdown of some key areas. Now, the main one I was interested in, notably, which is very interesting, it came up first, was enhanced trading strategies. So AI algorithms can analyze vast amounts of market data, identify patterns, and predict trends that may be difficult for humans to discern. This can lead to more informative or informed trading decisions. So I thought that was, the very first one it came up with. I thought that was really interesting. The other one is AI-powered trading bots. Can automate transactions based on predefined criteria, potentially improving efficiency and reducing emotional biases. Now, a lot of exchanges now currently are using these AI type powered trading bots, which they have been for a little while, but they are getting a lot better. Just quickly over this: improve security, detecting and preventing fraudulent activities, analyzing transaction patterns. Predictive analysis. It can analyze historical data and current market conditions to forecast potential price movements, increase efficiency, Risk management can help assess and manage inherent risks, and then increase transparency, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of different things. So this all came just from from Gemini. So for anyone that's kind of getting into the space, maybe you want to learn a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily have to be about trading, but it could be anything to do with crypto projects. It can, crypto in general, using these AI generators is a good way to get valuable information. And, they're not always correct, obviously, but for the most part, when the data that it grabs offline and these different sources, they're fairly accurate. So that was something that I thought was kind of neat, because I had a conversation at work with a coworker, and he said, when am I ever going to use AI? What do I need AI for? So I explained to him that AI is used now more than people realize. And those are just a couple of examples. So outside the crypto space, I wanted to ask you guys, crypto has a ton of uses for AI, but outside the crypto space, in TradFi or even the real world outside of finance, do you feel that AI, or what do you feel AI will contribute, and how do you think it'll affect everyday lives going forward in the future? Juan.
Oh, I mean, it's already kind of doing it right now, right? So, like you said, you mentioned just having Gemini on your phone and how it communicates with you. There's a live version of it where you full blown can just have a conversation about anything, and it'll give you a response that's more lifelike today than it ever was in the last 5 years. A lot better than Google Assistant as far as setting up your appointments and following up with you, making sure you're on top of things. TV has AI built in, and a lot of the things that happen behind the scenes. Like, for example, do you think that someone's behind in a cubicle on Netflix giving you recommendations? No, that's all AI powered, based on your viewing experiences, and how many likes you do. YouTube itself, when it reviews stuff, it's all AI powered, right? What I would like to see is how we can interact with it, right? Whether it's with finances, whether it's recommended cooking recipes, whether it's telling you, hey, don't buy the potatoes at this store, it's much cheaper across the street. That level of interaction would be amazing for the human race, right? And having that information at the tip of your fingertips at any given time. So those are the things that I'm kind of looking for. And I think that's where you're going to see not only just mass adoption, which it's required, but massive buy-in from the community, right? Because when you get that, you're going to have people start thinking inside the box and really pushing the envelope. Right now, I think at least in the States, we're still split on whether we want AI in our lives or not. And I think the way they've spun it was how it's going to be taking people's jobs away and all this other stuff. But there are a lot of positive ways we can have a great experience with AI, and how it can help us just not save time in our lives so we can spend more time with our kids, but also just to have a better quality of life by just making more decisions that are not emotionally based, but more data driven.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny you mentioned taking jobs away, because, I kind of have a counterpoint to that. My plant where I work, 10, 15 years ago, it was all manually run press machines, hydraulic machines, stuff like that. And the company started buying these robots, ABB robots. And, the rumor was that they were going to take over jobs, and, that we were going to have some people that were going to be let go because of it. When in fact, we've actually, overall times are slow now, but at that time, they actually had to hire employees, because you need people to be able to still run these robots. The robots need to be fed the parts that that they're running, programming, maintenance, stuff like that. So one of the benefits of these robots that we got wasn't that it took over an employee's job. It just made the production more consistent, and that was the big thing with these robots. Is it instilled consistency, and the product efficiency got way better. And but it didn't replace jobs; just the jobs changed, the jobs that were required. So I guess the same thing could happen with AI. They say that AI is going to take over jobs, when in fact the jobs will probably just change. It may not take over the amount of jobs that are there, just the jobs themselves, what they are. Cruiser, what about you?
You know,
Sorry, go ahead.
just to add to your point, I think that if you just kind of look at overall the history of manufacturing, it's always kind of been like that, right? At one point, we had one person or group of people manufacturing everything by hand. And then they say, oh, we're going to start using these machines and what was the conversation? Oh, people are going to get fired and laid off and blah, blah, blah. No, it's just the skill set is going to change, right?
Exactly.
And then, from machines, and then we got, more advanced machinery. And now we're going into the AI. And the conversation has always been the same, but all we've ever seen is companies growing and hiring more people. Now, it may not be the same manual labor dude, right? But I think as companies become more hip onto how they're affecting their own workforce, I'm pretty sure they're also going to be more in tuned on teaching them what is going to be required or preparing them what's going to be required if they want to operate these machines so they can keep their job. And at the same time, it's probably cheaper labor for them, right? Because it's easier to kind of hire someone that's already on your workforce and just promote them or give them some training than hiring some young tech guy who can code C++ and all this other stuff, but it's going to be asking for higher top dollar. Oh, you're muted, sir.
Sorry, I was going to say, yeah, that's true. Thanks for that. But Black Cat commented here, going to need the infrastructure. I'd invest in stocks like AMT. So yeah, the infrastructure obviously is going to be necessary, but that is slowly coming along. That's part of the reason why AI hasn't developed as fast as people thought it might, or as fast as it could, because as he points out, the infrastructure is needed, and that's totally true. And then he also says here, well, it can trade for me then. I don't have to worry about how soon robots take over automotive repair jobs. No, you're absolutely right. Always going to need mechanics. You'll never be out of a job there, Black Cat. Cruiser, okay, what about yourself? How do you feel about this AI, and what do you think it's going to do for the everyday person?
Well, we all know how good AI can be or is and even will be. But I think we have to be cautious. It opens up a whole new world of opportunity for the bad actors. Already we see videos out there all over social media that you don't know if they're real. And there are so many fake videos out there now. That's minor, but it does open up a whole new world for those who want to abuse what it can do. So I think we have to proceed cautiously, and just use it for what it's meant for. But it's going to be there's going to be a lot of up and down in the next, I don't know, I guess the next couple years while AI really gets its foothold in society. We got to weed out the bad parts of it before we can really see the benefits of it. But I think in the long run, it's going to be great.
You're right. But you are right about the AI generated videos. A few years ago, you could kind of tell that it was AI generated, but there's a lot of them now that you unless you really look close or watch it a few times, you can't tell. One of my favorite YouTubers, actually, Elio Trades, he's been using AI a lot. The likeness of his face over top of other people in his short little clips and intro videos and stuff, and it's pretty crazy how accurate and scary it is. But it is getting better and better. But you're right. Yeah, there has to be a little bit of enforcement or risk assessment to make sure that it's used properly. Terry, what about yourself?
Yeah, I definitely think there are some concerns with the deep fakes, because how they can be used in propaganda. And that's really particularly a problem for us because of social media, how powerful it is and how powerful an image can be, right? But I think as far as the application of AI, customer service, advertising, social media, education, but the really, really big one, I think, and we're already seeing it in my opinion, is science, research, and medicine. I just read an article the other day about this AI designed this homolog drug that would, they're just going into trials that would have taken in a fraction of the amount of time it would have taken by traditional methods. The research were like, this is just amazing. We're years ahead of schedule, where would we normally be in the process because we have this. So I think it is going to really, really provide a lot of help there. I think the reference, Juan's reference to the Industrial Revolution was a really, really key. I think it was a great reference because I think that AI is going to change the manner of production, how the economy operates, and some factors of our society, much in the way the Industrial Revolution did.
Very good point. Yeah. And we have to kind of open our imaginations and open our minds too, because right now when you think of AI, you think of, prompts to generate images, you think of, assisting in certain tasks and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right. If you open your mind, there's so many possibilities when it comes to AI. Like for me, for example, at my employment, when I do programming of the ABBs, everything's done manual. You got a pendant. And with AI programming, you can actually program an AI to do the programming for me. I know it's still years down the road, but you let the AI know exactly what it is you want the piece of equipment or machinery to do, and it will do it precisely, without human error. So that's another aspect that we haven't really thought of. It could help, like Juan alluded to, the industrial side of things. And there's a lot of things that AI is going to be a part of or contribute to that we haven't even thought of yet. And that's the exciting part, just the possibilities that AI can do for society. But it has to be done the right way. It can't be rushed. And as Cruiser alluded to, we got to make sure that it's done safely, because there could be a lot of bad actors out there that could take advantage of it. But if done right, AI would be able to spot them out a mile away, and that would be really good. Where was AI 2, 3, 4 years ago during the ROI DAP phase when we had all these, ill-will project owners and bad apples in the space? It could have really weeded them out, but that's, years down the road. Okay, I wanted to move on to a couple of projects that are also launching on the Solana blockchain. They're not necessarily AI, but they are revolutionary in their own right. The first one I want to talk about is Zeus. For those that don't know what Zeus is, it gives the ability to use real Bitcoin, ZBTC, not wrapped Bitcoin. Wrapped Bitcoin is actually kind of like an IOU, whereas this ZBTC, the way Zeus has it done, it's actual Bitcoin, and they are able to use it on the Solana blockchain. So you can use it for, for DeFi, for staking, for all those different types of things. It should be going live soon. They just did their final update. I think it did go live, but the ability to actually use it is going to be in incremental steps. But it acts as a communication layer that facilitates interaction between different blockchains. Right now, Solana is the first one that they're going to be doing it with. Its goal is to enable the creation of decentralized applications, dApps, that can operate across distinct blockchain ecosystems. So across the crypto space, all the different blockchains, which is amazing. Now, we're not able to do that right now using real Bitcoin. Places like, pretty much any blockchain, if they want to use Bitcoin, they have to use a wrapped version. So they take the real Bitcoin, they wrap it. It's kind of like an IOU, and it's not true Bitcoin in the real sense. So essentially, it aims to bridge gaps between blockchains, allowing for smoother transfer of assets and information. It is built on Solana. It focuses on enhancing blockchain interoperability and liquidity, helps to enable developers to build and scale applications that can be seamlessly that you can seamlessly move assets and information across the Bitcoin and Solana blockchains. So that's, it's revolutionary. Zeus I first mentioned it on the channel several months ago when they first launched, and, they began their building from the ground up. And it looks like they're very close now to actually implementing it. And, it gives Bitcoin another utility, because right now it's kind of limited as to what you can do. Right now, it's basically just a store of value, which is its main purpose, store of value and payments, but store of value mainly. And this just gives it, those who are holding the Bitcoin another opportunity or a different avenue to use it on a different blockchain and actually put it to work for them. I wanted to ask you guys did any of you guys have any questions on that or any comments about Zeus before I move on?
All good here.
For me, it's a great start process kind of thing. I think the discussion around Zeus is fine but like most projects are going to talk about, we need that proof of concept. We really want to see how the effects is going to be in real world. So that's what It's good to kind of give the audience like a good heads up what to look into. But ultimately, we're not right now standing behind any one token right now.
No, no, I'm just bringing the developments to everybody. I mean, I know we focus a lot here on Solana, and to a
Oh, yeah.
point Sui as well. But it's because it's in my opinion, and I'm sure you guys will agree, it is one of the best, if not the best, blockchain available. And if you're going to get into crypto and dip your toes in, you might as well be on the best blockchain, right?
100%.
Okay, so the next one I wanted to mention is called DABA network. For those that are not familiar with Helium, which we discussed before the stream, I'm pretty sure it is Helium on Solana. What they aim to do is kind of build a wireless internet hotspot. So it takes a bunch of users, and you create an ecosystem, an internet an internet framework, the ability for those who wouldn't normally have access to internet to have access to internet. So DABA Network is a project focused on expanding internet access, particularly in India. So they've started in India, which is one of those places that, there are a lot of areas of India that don't have internet access, obviously. So what they do is those that are able to get I guess you want to call them a modem or a router, and you basically create a hotspot. And the more people that have these devices, it creates a large network for those that are otherwise unable to get internet. So India is just the first place they're going to start. I'm sure they're going to expand. But here's a summary of the key features. Decentralized physical infrastructure network, DPIN. DABA Network operates as a DPIN, which means it utilizes blockchain technology to build and manage a physical infrastructure network. In this case, the infrastructure is focused on providing Wi-Fi internet access, and right now, currently, it's starting in India. The focus on internet accessibility, a primary goal of DABA Network is to significantly increase internet access in India, and they aim to connect a large portion of the India population. So they're you hear all the time that there are certain areas of the world, third world countries, that don't have internet access, and projects like DABA and Helium, they're providing those areas with access to the internet, which, when it comes to DPIN and real world utility, it doesn't get any better than this, especially with the world today. If you're not connected to the internet, you're not connected at all, and you're kind of left behind. You don't really know what's going on in the world. And of course, it goes beyond that to education and and the like. So I think this is one of the better uses of blockchain, and as long as projects keep developing or companies keep developing projects like this, it definitely makes blockchain a positive for the entire world. So what, gentlemen, I'll start with you, Juan. What are your thoughts on this and these kinds of real world real world projects in general?
Oh, I totally agree with you when it comes to DABA itself, and how it can have a real impact. Again, seeing it in action is going to be amazing, but we have to see it in action. But other than that, right? I mean, we still in the States have areas that internet access is not available, or even phone service, right? Like cell service that's not available. So having the ability to provide internet access through the blockchain, I mean, that is just not an amazing feat, but just kind of shows how advanced blockchains have gotten. Because I've never would have thought of this at all. Like this particular use case, it was not something that I would have thought of as in my wildest imagination. So kudos to them, and I hope that they kind of work out all the kinks. I really want to see this go into motion.
Yeah, same. Cruiser.
If you don't mind me sharing my screen, I have a live map showing the current hotspots on the DABA network.
Oh yeah, actually, I did have that as well, but I totally forgot to load it up. But if you have it, yeah,
I do. There we go. All right. You can see that?
Yep.
Okay. So here we have, I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce what this is. But as you can see here, there's numerous hotspots on the Dava network in that town in India, in that city. And I'm just going to go over to Islampur. It's a little slow here, but you can see how many hundreds and hundreds of these hotspots on the Dava network that are active in India right now. And if you look here at the top, 4,500 hotspots, 84,000 connected devices. Like, this is pretty impressive.
Now they are creating internet where it otherwise wouldn't be. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show that. I think it's that's pretty fantastic. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
there you go, Juan. There's a little bit of proof of the Dava at work in action.
It's amazing stuff to see. I hope these guys are taking advantage of it.
By the numbers, it looks like they are. All right, Terry. Sorry, Cruiser. I'll let you finish up if you wanted to.
Yeah, I was just going to say, over the last, there's a chart below the map there that I just scrolled through quickly, and just looking at if they were to put dollar values on these hotspots that have been created, it's in thousands and thousands of dollars worth of what we would pay for that service in North America. And they're creating a network on Dava there that is really, it's unprecedented. I think it's pretty awesome. We might need to import that here.
Okay. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention as well is from what I read, the actual device that you use to create your hotspot, they don't have to pay for it, and they get rewards in whichever token it is, probably Solana, but
it's Genesis.
Oh, okay, all right. So they
579 million so far.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, they earn rewards for providing that. So it's a little bit of a perk for those that provide. So that's a perfect way to build a really big network. On Genesis, I'm just trying to see which blockchain. I know I said Solana before, but something in me is telling me it might not be Solana. It might be. Yeah, it is Solana. Okay. All right. Sorry, Terry, your thoughts on this? It's actually kind of a cool thing.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that utility is what will drive adoption. And, obviously the internet access functions like that are great, but the real world assets, the integration of real world assets, via NFTs, whatever, but with the blockchain, that is just going to be a huge driver. I think that, matter of fact, I just saw Becker make a comment on it too, that the RWA sector may be one that really rips. It may outperform gaming.
Oh, is that right?
I think it's possible.
That would be huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming has been slow this market, but if you look at the gaming overall, I'm not talking crypto gaming, I'm talking real world gaming. It is huge. We're talking multi-billion-dollar industry. But you're right, RWAs, they definitely have the potential because it says it right in the name, real world assets. So, that'll be an interesting thing to watch as the bull market continues and then into the next bull markets going forward. Okay. I wanted to do, Terry, did you have any meme coins you wanted to discuss, or is it a slow meme coin week?
No, not at all. I can go ahead and do that real quick. Let me get my screen up here.
Okay. Yeah, we might as well we'll do a meme coin update, and then Juan, I'll get you to do a gold update when I bring up the chart, and then we can go over Bitcoin and see what we think is going to happen going forward in the next week or so, short term. Okay, there you go.
Go. Okay, so here we are on the Fartcoin 8R. Fartcoin really came back here. It's way down from the highs. The local point of control here, up off that, doing a little consolidation in here. This is what we're looking at, the potential for another move up. I think we're probably going to get a try up to the 724 level. We move over to our 1 hour. There we go. We can see how this this area has been consolidating. We have an unconfirmed double top and unconfirmed double bottom. This is a confirmed double bottom here, but these two define the outside of the range. Looks like the smaller range I had penned in is breaking down a little bit. So I'm just expecting this to continue consolidation until we get that upside breakout. It's possible we do get some deviation first.
Good to see Farcoin still alive. I thought it was dead, actually.
Yeah. A lot of us did. I had kind of written it off. It's one of those ones that once they're down like 80%, they do usually get that bottom bounce. But I'm like, yeah, so wake me when it happens. Or there's an early signal bounce. Now, this Ghibli one, this is kind of a little victory lap for me because I did a VC this morning. We took this. It was a hypothetical trade, so. Nobody actually took the trade. We were just, seeing how things work. What I want to point out here is where the TP was placed, because this is our last high before the break from the range, right? And when action comes down, you could see this as deviation here, and maybe that actually be the range top. But the last high, the last closure before you get the break out of a range is usually what gets retested. So we just, I just nudged that up. We had a little pivot. I like to just cheat them a little bit just to be safe. We did get, I left a couple, theoretically, we left a couple of percent, like 3% on the table. But that was a 25%, 2.9R trade. Pretty solid. So
yeah.
Look at that happens a lot.
Yeah.
And, it took a little bit of patience, but such is life.
It looks like it might be forming a little bit of a double bottom there, too.
Yeah. Yep. Pika has been super strong. Looking for it to hold up here, actually. It does need a little bit more volume to hold it up, but we have this inefficiency area, and there's always an SR there. So we're looking at the support from in here. Looks like 372 is getting a little weak, tested a little bit there. I want to see what the bounce looks like here. As long as we, if it continued to, sort of work its way down, I'd be okay with that. I do expect a little bit of a lower high, but I don't think it's going to dump out of here left. Super strong. Looks like this one's finally going to die. This one's just kind of hanging on for a while. That's why we looked at it. Okay. That's it on the meme coin.
All right. Thanks for that, Terry. And off to the gold chart. All right. Here we go. Juan, what are you seeing in gold?
Right now, gold is doing gold things. An amazing job trying to move up. I think it's trying to crack its all-time high again. Trying to pass the I believe it's the 3,060 level. And right now it's doing a fine job of trying to get there. For me, I thought it would have retested that bottom level from earlier, especially considering the challenges I foresee in Bitcoin. I would think that they would start doing a sell-off, but I think they're still accumulating and building that store of value. So, I foresee gold, I guess, might want to challenge the next level. I think this is at 375. And from there, who knows, right? I think Bitcoin's playing a huge role, which is I'll probably get to right now. When you consider the price action for Bitcoin and why it happened, you're looking at the European version of ETFs, which is called ETPs. And I think they just released one. And to me, normally you should be bullish, right? Like, hey, great opportunity, great chance to see get into the market of ETPs now. And that should really skyrocket the price of Bitcoin. But I didn't really see that. What I did see, though, is a preemptive strike, meaning like, I'm going to sell you a new car. I'm going to shine it up. I'm going to make it as pretty as possible so I can entice you. And it looks like that's what happened here, where the price of Bitcoin was lower. I think there was an anticipation for this ETP. So they made price very attractive. They made it very bullish. So that way, when they did launch this ETP, it kind of makes it more attractive than what it is at this moment. And obviously, if you're going to look at it, you want to measure the effects of it, right? You know, what claims do I have? Why do I make these assertions? And just look at the volume, right? All week long, we haven't hit over 100K in volume. We just haven't. So those are the things that kind of give me pause on what decisions are happening and why they're happening. So at the end of the day, I think there's an opportunity for us to kind of learn and see what the challenges are, but also kind of look at the market for what it is. And right now, there's just enough manipulation to kind of show that there is a new product coming out and you want it to look nice. So I really do agree with my co-stars here when they mentioned that, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if BTC decided to tap a lower level before it kind of goes back up. So henceforth, why gold, right, in relation to gold, where, you know, maybe gold is kind of storing its value, preparing itself for a sharp sell-off to maybe offset some of this BTC future sell-off.
Well, gold is definitely being a superstar right now. Like it's literally $1 away from a new all-time high.
Can I jump in here a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just curious. A question for Juan. I'm just looking at the historical chart for gold, and my dates might be a little off here, but right around the October 9th, 2023 mark, gold just took off, and it's been on this upward trajectory ever since. Whereas for 10 years before that, it was dormant almost. Was there a catalyst or something that kicked it off?
I would say originally the first catalyst was the housing collapse. A lot of people hedged their, I mean, and you know this probably even growing up. You want to be rich, you want to be wealthy, buy yourself property. Right. And then you saw a huge failure in the system and the inability for certain protections to be in place, right, due to deregulation. Then after that, COVID came around and we got smacked again, but people had money. So what's safer than gold?
Right.
You know, gold has always been one trajectory up, right? You have no expectations. You have no real like assets to kind of look at or measurements, nothing, right? Like there's no CEO speaking for gold. It's not lying to you, right? But what you do see is people purchasing gold for jewelry, gold for semiconductors, gold for everything, and gold launching still right now as we speak. Yeah. So I think those are a lot of these catalysts. And now that, you know, again, how easy it is now with the ecosystem that we have in place where you can sell off gold in one market, transfer it over to a different account. There's exchanges now that sell gold too, right on the exchange. So even making it even easier to kind of move money around between gold and other assets and make certain moves. So yeah, to just answer the question, yeah, there have been catalysts, and it's usually failures in our systems that kind of spurn people a different direction.
Yeah. Easy way to look at it, Cruiser, is every time there's you know, macro or economic uncertainty, people will flow to gold for that security, that hedge against what's going on in the overall markets.
And I guess ease of access probably is a big part of it, right?
Yeah. And you know, us being in the crypto space, I think we're all hoping that Bitcoin becomes that type of asset as well, which I think it will. It's slowly becoming that, although the institutions are getting in a lot and they're very unpredictable. But you know, you know, there's no denying that gold is a good hedge, and Bitcoin as well. So speaking of Bitcoin, let's go to the Bitcoin chart to close it out. I'll get your guys' opinion on what you feel Bitcoin is going to do in the coming week. So I'll start off with you, Juan. How do you see Bitcoin right now? Do you think it's strong? Do you think it's weak? What do you think is going to happen over the next week?
short term, I just, foresee it maybe wanting to test some of these lower levels, maybe even test that trend line you have going there. Only because, again, if I'm launching a new product, I should see the momentum from this product launch. And we kind of didn't really see that. We see a precursor to it, but I don't know if that was really clients buying, institutions buying, or more to BlackRock using its influence on the price to kind of do its thing. So I will kind of just say for now that I will, kind of say I think there's an opportunity there for us to see some testing and maybe buying in a better price, get some better price action, and then maybe tap out back up. I'm still bullish on Bitcoin, but I just think that I know that if I was CEO and I just launched a new game and I didn't see, sales increase, then my stock price is going to reflect that, right? So I think the same thing here. So I'm agreeing with Terry. I'm probably going to see a little tap on the bottom, and then come back up. The encouraging sign that it may not happen is only that the EMA started to soften up a little bit in our direction, right? So that's, for me, is a positive thing to kind of see, and it's exciting to kind of accept that as maybe of a way to kind of delineate from going down any further. But other than that, positive stuff.
Good. Cruiser.
Well, I guess I'm gonna hold my position from last week and just kind of neutral, not bearish, not bullish, just kind of waiting it out, see where it's gonna bring us. I haven't been watching it a whole lot lately. I'm kind of still waiting for Ethereum to wake up, as much as I don't like it. I'm waiting for that to do something, but yeah, neither bearish nor bullish, just kind of waiting it out.
Yeah, I don't foresee Ethereum doing anything good until they can finally scale, if that ever happens. But looking at the Bitcoin weekly chart here, as you can see, we've had 3 straight weeks of green candles, whereas previous to that, we had 5 of 6 weeks in the red. So that's definitely a bullish transition. Terry, yourself, what do you see short term for Bitcoin?
Well, I think that Bitcoin will be a little bit more predictable, a little bit more reliable as these moves continue to provide more clarity to us. I think that right now, if Bitcoin does bounce from this 86.5 area, then we will get that small little push. 89.3 is some resistance, might go a little bit higher than that, but probably not up to 90. If it dips a little bit deeper, now there's an order block, I hadn't mentioned that. There is an implied bullish order block down at, it's about 84.7 to, say, 85.1. Yeah, exactly. I think what will happen is that action will drop below that at some point, and then when it comes back and reclaims, it'll drive off of it. I don't know that it'll drop there yet. I think we have a little push up, then it drops back down, sweeps our lows, and then comes back up. But eventually, I think we're going to see a really, really good push off that $85,000 level.
Okay. Something also to keep in mind, guys, is I believe right about here, 84.2, say 84.3. So right about this area here, we have a CME gap. And for whatever reason, even though they're not correlated, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, whenever there's a CME gap, the Bitcoin price always seems to get down or up to that area to close that gap. So just to keep that in mind, we do have a CME gap around that area. So it's possible that if we do have that jump down to that 84.3, 84.2, it's possible to close that gap. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But so far, the sentiment is definitely better than it was a couple of weeks ago when we had that 2 months of downward action. And now we're finally making some bullish indications on the charts and bullish sentiment in the market. All this news is coming out. So things are looking a lot better. I'm not saying they're really, really good, but they are a lot better than what they were just a few short weeks ago. Okay, I guess that's it for this week, gentlemen. This hour flew by. We're at an hour 4. I'd like to thank all of you for joining me again this week. Terry, Juan, and Cruiser, thanks again. Don't forget, nothing on this video is considered financial advice. Please do your own research And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like the video if you haven't, and leave a comment down in the comments. You know, if you want us to touch anything on anything on the streams, if you have any comments on today's episode, please leave a comment down there. It really helps the algorithm, and we like to interact with our viewers. But that's it from us. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you on Monday for our weekend update. And then, of course, next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern for the weekly roundtable. All right. Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for joining me again this week.
Always a pleasure. Be safe. Happy trading.
Have a good night, guys.
Take care.